I'm often asked, should I do more cardio to lose weight? Daily walking and general movement is great, but high intensity exercise, running, rowing, swimming, cycling, all of these things that are high intensity for long duration really beat the body up. No amount of cardio can outrun an unhealthy lifestyle. A health problem in the body can only be resolved by looking at the etiology, the driving force that's causing it. The accumulation of excess body fat is an expression of someone living an unhealthy lifestyle. It's not a high-intensity cardio deficiency. Excess body fat comes from the overconsumption of processed foods, excess sugar, and high amounts of stress. Our ability to store body fat is not a bad thing, it's for survival. It's so important because if you couldn't store body fat, you wouldn't be able to get through periods of famine. The problem we have now is that carbohydrate-rich foods are so available. Prior to the evolution of agriculture, humans consumed carbohydrates seasonally, so we'd have fruits and berries when they were available. And yes, they make us fat. Yes, they increase our appetite, and that's a good thing because it helps us get through periods of famine. But we never consumed them all year round constantly until we developed the ability to grow grains and store them. Once we could do that, we had the luxury of obesity. Now, in the wild, animals never have that luxury. They do get fat for winter, especially if they hibernate, but it's not something that they have all year round. But we do have it, and we are experiencing the diseases that are related to that constant drive of storage. So if you want to end disease and we want to end that chronic suffering of humanity, we need to stop the secretion of excess insulin. If you want to lose body fat, you've got to relax and calm your mind. You've got to stop the reactive eating and start responsible eating. So eating 2 to 3 good meals a day, sitting down, relaxing while you eat, eating whole fresh food, eliminating processed food, eliminating alcohol ideally, or at least limiting it, getting movement every day, relaxing, getting good sleep every night. These things are going to allow you to get healthy. More than anything, I see people are suffering from chronic stress and emotional, mental, and financial stress. So they're in this constant state of stress that stimulates a stress hormonal response, which actually increases insulin because you're driving blood sugar up from stress hormones. And then because of that, it increases your appetite and your desire to eat more. Some people are fortunate and it decreases their appetite, but it's still damaging to the body. So you want to reduce that overall mental, emotional, and financial stress by living a simpler life, calming your mind, and just learning how to focus your energy on what it is you really want to create in your life and get real about how you're going to do it. The stress also disrupts your normal digestive capacity. So even though you're eating foods and they're going in, you're not getting the true nutrition from it. So the sugar is going in very easy, but the proteins, minerals, enzymes, all of these things aren't working as well as they could. So you're not getting that true nourishment that you should get from food. And when you're not nourished, you're hungry because your body's seeking out nutrition. I love movement and I teach it for a living, but I would never prioritize movement over having a relaxed, calm, and focused mind. So a simple thing that you can do every day is just practice breathing. So breathing in through the nose for 5, into the belly, out for 5, through the nose, and then holding that breath out for an extended pause for 5. It's such a simple way to calm your nervous system, and just doing 4 of these before you eat, 4 of these if you're feeling stressed, or even more if you want to just do a breathing meditation and really focus on it. I highly value it, and I feel that it's so underutilized. People are all stressed out and they're just racing around trying to do things, but if you can just calm down and relax, you can think clearer and you can make better decisions. Once you're calmer, you can channel your energy more effectively. So you can set clear goals and achieve them, you can have a more positive outlook, and then you can make decisions about what you're going to do in your lifestyle that's actually going to make you healthier and get the results that you're after. So simple things that I like to recommend people is to stay hydrated. So for around every 30 kilos, every 66 pounds of body weight, you want to have a litre of water. Ideally, you filter that water and add some minerals back into it, so some sea salt, so that way the water that you're putting in is going to help you rather than hinder you. Now, when it comes to eating, I recommend 2 to 3 good sit-down meals a day. I just have lunch and dinner, and I find that works really well for me. Some people like having breakfast, lunch and dinner. Some people just breakfast and lunch. But ideally, you keep that to a 6 to 10 hour feeding window, which means you're going to fast for 14 to 18 hours. Now, this is a really simple intervention, very practical, and it really makes a difference. If you can stop snacking and stop stimulating your body to store more food, it's going to make it so much easier to lose body fat. Consuming healthy dietary fat is going to help you get through periods of fasting because your body has more sustained energy. If you're always driving blood sugar up, then you're going to feel that insulin response is going to drop down and you're going to crave more sugar. So it's very simple to stop snacking, reduce the feeding window, and then also eliminate the carbohydrate. Another simple tip is to stop eating 3 hours before you go to sleep. This allows you to get a better sleep and to not have to be working on digestion while you're trying to recover and regenerate the body. When it comes to movement, I recommend 2 to 3 good strengthening sessions a week. Now, these sessions are ones in which you're going to balance and align the body, balance the hormonal system, and increase muscle mass, increase joint stability, improve posture, dynamic and static. These are all really important things to be healthy, but just beating the body up with excess cardio is not going to work. You may get short-term results, but long-term you're just going to feel that your body is broken and that it's getting beaten down further and further, and it's going to get harder and harder to keep that body fat off. Because even if it works in the beginning, if you keep eating the same way and keep living a lifestyle that stores body fat, then the exercise is just a balancing act for that you cannot maintain. Another simple thing is just to make sure that you're getting a regular 7 to 9 hours of sleep every night, and that you really relax, go into a nice deep sleep, and then you're waking up feeling refreshed. Now, if you're waking up through the night, you're feeling anxious, you've got to look at what are the other stresses that are driving that anxiety. And then if you're still not getting results from doing those basic things that I mentioned, then you've got to look closer at nutrition and closer at the stress in your life. Now, when it comes to nutritional stress, you might have to go on more of an elimination diet and then gradually add one thing back at a time to figure out what's going on. Nutrition is very complicated, hence why for me, I'm fairly well versed with nutrition, but even for me, I just cut it right back and did the carnivore approach because it's so simple. I just took out everything, and now I'm at a place where my body feels good, and then I can test one thing at a time and I'll know what's doing what. When people just kind of taking things in and out and all over the place, it's still very complicated. As for the stress part of your life, it's really a matter of looking at, well, what are the major ones and how can I reduce those? So if it's relationship-wise, you can talk to whoever it is that's involved, or sometimes it might be just a matter of creating space. And then if it's financial, you need to work out debt elimination and work out how you can stop spending more than you can afford to spend. And even though those things sound very simple, they're quite hard to do, and a lot of the times they're very challenging to orchestrate and they take time. But you need to create space in your life to be able to do that. If you're just racing from one thing to another constantly and just always on edge, it's very hard to step back and look at your life. But until you do, you can't really work out what's going on. So I hope these tips help, and don't do excess cardio to beat body fat off your body. It's not going to work long time. Just take a look at your life and work out how to balance it and look after yourself and build yourself up in a good way so that you're healthier. That way, if you do train harder, you can handle it. But if you're already stressed, stress plus stress does not equal health. You've got to find a way to balance the system out. So see you next time. Enjoy your life.